Happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone! And I am getting ready for some friends to come over, the Phillips, and we need to get some little snacks. And I had some ideas. So one of the ideas that I was gonna make today was some deep fried ice cream. So I have my skillet ready, my butter going, and I need to get started. So this recipe is pretty easy. I just took 3 cups of the corn flakes that I got from Winco, and I'm just gonna smash them up a little bit. Okay, so my husband clarified, I'm not deep frying it, so it's just fried ice cream. And that's, let me get my rolling pin. But I'm just wanting to crush them up, and then you're gonna get your butter and melt it down with some sugar and cinnamon. And so that's all I'm gonna do in this part is just fry it up in the butter and the sugar cinnamon mix for a few minutes. Totally easy, and it's gonna be good. Can't wait. I can plug this thing in. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like. So I just started mixing them together, and I'm just gonna keep mixing it all through, just to make sure all this cinnamon sugar butter mix is getting on all of the corn flakes. Kind of giving it a little bit of a crisp, but not a burn. So I'm loving also these utensils. I will link the Amazon, the way to get them, to purchase them from Amazon. Gosh, I can't think. But they're really great. So, and I'm loving them. So it's nice and toasty. Don't get too far away if you're gonna do this process, because it starts to toast up pretty fast. So you don't want it to burn. And so now this is like the fried part. So what we're gonna do is take half of that mixture and lay it flat on this 9x13 pan. So about half. Ooh, it smells delicious. My kids are already commenting, so that's a good sign. And then we're just gonna let this cool. So while this is cooling, I'm gonna mix up the ice cream and the Cool Whip, which is super easy to do. And in my recipe at the end of the video, it'll have all of the exact measurements and stuff, but I also want to add a little bit of cinnamon to the ice cream, and that wasn't in the recipe, but you can see it makes sense. So there's that. I'm gonna let that kind of get cool and hardened. So look at this yumminess, and I wanted to show you that I got the extra creamy whip topping. So good. It's almost like ice cream coming out. And then you can see I'm just going to add another half a teaspoon of cinnamon into this. It makes sense because cinnamon is such a strong Mexican flavoring that it seems like it should be in there anyways. So I'm just going to carefully mix that in. I should be probably using my spatula, but I'll be very careful with my spoon. And then I'm just going to layer it back there on the 9x13 as evenly as possible, and then put the other half of the cornflake mixture on top and put it back in the freezer. So easy, right? And it's so delicious. So I just spread it all out. Now my underside, the cornflakes that were on the bottom moved. So I don't know how much of a crust is there because it's now more on the sides, which is fine because when this is frozen, it's gonna have all the flavorings on top anyways from the other. So if you wanna bypass the whole, put it on the bottom and then just put it all on the top, that's a good idea too. I think that's, bless you, a good idea as well. So my mixture over here was starting to harden up. So I'm just gonna break it apart and sprinkle it on top here. It is delicious. I kind of licked the spoon. It has good flavor. Oops. I want to make sure it's all evenly dispersed. So this is going to go into the freezer now for about 5 or so hours. I want to make it like a block, so when I cut it into squares, it'll come right out. So we brought back some great food from that Mexican meat market. It's one of our go-to places here where we live, and you can kind of see some of my pile over here. My favorite thing to get there is the conchas, the breads, the sweet breads. I grew up eating these as a kid, and there are some places back where I live in California, like places near where my father still lives, where they cut these in half and put ice cream and caramel syrup, chocolate syrup. Oh my gosh, I need that place. Anyways, And I'm sure I've done it before, but I just want to go and have somebody make it for me. So I'm just going to cut these into quarters, put them on the plates, and then put some galletas or some cookies, some crackers and cookies. These little Mexican ones, aren't those so cute with the marshmallows and coconut on top? And then these ones are kind of like bars. So I bought these for my classroom as well. So we're going to be having snack on Tuesday for Cinco de Mayo. Since it was kind of weird to have it on Thursday when I didn't really have class. It was just weird. So these are like long bars. So I'm just going to cut them into probably thirds. And because the Phillips are coming, that way the kids can have little samples of everything. It'll be super good. I think the chocolate one is my favorite. Yum, yum. Okay. So pretty too. I mean, come on. It's so pretty, right? I love fiestas. And a siesta if I can ever get one. Well, I did get one today because it's Saturday. So, I don't know about everybody out there, but I can only really take like power naps because I just can't sleep for more than like 20, 30 minutes or it's going to really ruin my whole sleeping schedule. So, power naps. Hashtag power naps, right? And now I'm just going to saran wrap it so everything stays nice and soft. Because these little pastries are soft, we don't want them to get dried out. So I'm just going to saran wrap it, make it ready. And so this is done, ready for the Phillips. The next thing I'm going to do is, right behind me here, I'm going to make the queso dip. I've made it before, and I might have showed you before, but it's just super easy. Half a pound of meat, ground beef. I've already cooked it. And then like maybe a spoon of, like a tablespoon of taco seasoning, and then just some nacho cheese in a can. And then I just kind of mix it up. It's kind of like a queso dip of sorts. That's what we with the chips. And then I'll make, in the freezer right now is the fried ice cream. So everything's coming along. Paul's starting the grill. And so we're going to have some carne asada, well, some pollo asada, which is like the chicken version of carne asada, and then I'm gonna use some of that meat to make some fun quesadillas for all of us and the kids, because I know they'll love it. So stay tuned. Now I am just gonna do the sauce. So just about a tablespoon of this taco seasoning. I make my own, so I need to refill that. So I'm just gonna kind of heat this through, add a little water to that, and then I'll just add the cheese. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. It's so good. In fact, I've had a couple of chips dipped in it. I didn't want to burn my mouth, so of course I had to be patient. I also have here some beans that I made yesterday, just reheating them up. And then Tina's making some of her famous rice, so she's going to be bringing that over. And then I am going to start making over here some gigantic quesadillas. Well, they'll have steak and, like I said, also the pollo asada. So I'll show ya. So Paul just finished these. Look how yummy. I'm starting to chop them up because I'm making some of these now. So these are, what I do is I always butter the outside so it'll get a nice little crisp in the oven. Those are the fancy ones when I'm not making them in the microwave, right? And then here's another one. I have it over on my sink. Don't worry, it's not touching anything. But for counter space. They're gonna go in, they're gonna be delicious. So here's how they turned out. They have steak, and there's the chicken ones. You can see that it's melted through. It's crispy on the top. I used the butter on there, so it's got a nice crisp. And here's Tina's rice. They're all waiting to eat. Yeah! And there's some meat. Paul grilled some veggies. I made some beans yesterday, and here is the best guacamole ever. And then here's the pan and the galletas that I put out. And so that would be crackers. Crackers in Spanish. Come on. Here is the yummy dessert. I made it's all frozen solid, so I'm going to let it thaw out a tiny bit. Now, I goofed a little bit on the recipe when I was making it. It said 3 cups of cornflakes crushed. I put 3 cups of cornflakes, period. So I could have probably put in some more of the cereal. So just remember that when you're making it. This was my first time making it. I have had it before, and I felt like it needed to have some more topping. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to start to cut it. Here yummy that looks. So it's got the crisp on the top, and I put some yummy caramel and some chocolate syrup. Let me have a little taste. It's so good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try this out. This looks delish.
What do you think?
I already tried a piece.
Okay, that is bomb.
You like that? So
it tastes like
easy
the
too.
Mexican restaurant.
Right?
Yes, that is so good.
Is it granola?
No, it's cornflakes.
Oh,
Cornflakes.
wow.
But it's cooked in like some sweet stuff and butter and things like that.
As
it's
Ethan
easy.
would say,
So it's healthy?
so good.
What do you think?
Very good.
Thanks for stopping by the channel. It's a little late now, so I got to close out the video, but I'm so glad you stopped by. The Phillips love the ice cream, the cake. I loved it too. It was awesome. And we had so much yummy food. And I loved doing the video with the Phillips. That was awesome. We had such a good time. So stick around. You just never know what we'll be rolling out next.